Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello and welcome back to Parc Fermé Parlay with Kieran Downey. We are back today to look at the first sessions of the British Grand Prix, FP1, FP2. We don't have huge amounts to talk about, but thankfully we got some news this week. So obviously this is the worst kept secret in F1, and it is that Ollie Bearman has been confirmed to drive for Haas in the 2025 F1 season. I'm so happy for him. Very well deserved. He had an amazing outing in Jeddah replacing Carlos at Ferrari. Just stepping into that car in what I would say is probably one of the hardest circuits on the calendar. And he just nailed it. P7. Well done. It's so deserved, this seat. It's so deserved. And all I am praying for, and I think everyone is praying, that Haas do not give him terrible car next year. All I need is them to give him a half decent car and let him be racy and competitive and show us what he can do, because we know he's good. Haas just need to give him a good car. That's it. There we are. Done. Just an amazing feel-good story in F1, because we get so much drama. There's so much drama and controversy and people disagreeing with one another that I actually think that the Ollie Bearman move to Haas is one that we can all agree is a fantastic, just good, feel-good story. So yeah, very happy for Ollie Bearman and very excited to see him on the grid next year. That is a driver that I am really looking forward to seeing how they get on and what they can do. Next up is Pierre Gasly, who will start P20 at this weekend's British Grand Prix, regardless of how well he does in qualifying. So before the weekend, Pierre's car was fitted with 5 new engine components. Each of those components was above his penalty-free allocation, so he's incurred a 10-place grid penalty for each component. He had 5 components changed. He was given a 50-place grid penalty. Now, that doesn't mean that he will be starting from the back of the grid for 3 weeks. The FIA regulations state that any driver that gets a penalty for more than 15 grid places will automatically just start at the back of the pack. So he's gotten 50, it just means he starts P20, there we are. I don't think this is going to be he starts P20, he finishes in and around there. I reckon he'll manage to overtake whoever's probably going to be in front of him. I'm thinking your Saubers, I'm thinking your Logan Sargents, and I do think he'll manage to get back up. I am kind of thinking we might be looking at an Alpine double points this week, but we shall wait and see. Alright, moving on to our free practice sessions, where Lando Norris has topped the timesheets in both sessions. And now I'm thinking my predictions are out the window. I came into this weekend thinking Max Verstappen masterclass. Maybe not a masterclass, but Max Verstappen back on top. And now I've come out of watching practice and I'm like, are we getting a Lando Norris win at the British Grand Prix? If we do, I don't think I'll be able to control myself. In FP1, Norris was first, Verstappen was fourth. In FP2, Norris was first, Verstappen was seventh. Now, I do have to keep telling myself that it is just practice. He was nearly 7/10 behind Norris in terms of timing in FP2. Perez put in a better time in FP2 than Verstappen did. Imagine if we get to qualifying and Perez out-qualifies Verstappen. Now, that would be news, because there's all this talk right now. And Christian Horner's playing it very coy when getting interviewed. And there's all these rumours that if Perez doesn't improve, he could be getting replaced for 2025. That there is apparently performance clauses. Why wouldn't Red Bull replace him with somebody that would perform better? Who that is, I have no idea, because right now I wouldn't exactly say Danny Ricks warranting of a seat at the big team. I'll be very interested to see how Perez can do. Is this going to be the weekend that Perez can bounce back? So yeah, I think going into qualifying, that's my 3 drivers I'm looking at. Perez, Verstappen and Norris. Oscar Piastri also pulling in some good times. FP1 and FP2. He was, I think FP1 he was P3, FP2 he was P2. A few problems for Oscar Piastri actually in FP1. I don't know what had happened to the car. Oscar said there was hydraulics problems, but there was definitely a big engine issue that as he was coming around the final few corners, the car basically just stopped. Just didn't have enough in the car to roll it round the corner down to the McLaren pit garage, and they had to actually close the pit entry so that the McLaren engineers could run round the corner and get the car and wheel it back into the garage and figure out what was going on. Now, we also had 4 rookie drivers taking part in FP1 this time round. We had Oliver Bearman at Haas, we had Isaac Hadjar in Red Bull, Jack Doohan in the Alpine, and Franco Colapinto in the Williams. So 3 of the drivers lined up, one right after the other. We had Jack Doohan in 17, Franco Colapinto 18, and Isaac Hadjar in 19th. And Oliver Bearman put in the Haas P14. Now, Oliver Bearman did a few runs and then got a pair of softs on and then was doing what seemed to be qualifying runs. And you can tell that Haas is just getting him ready for his move to F1 next year. Jack Doohan obviously in contention for an Alpine seat next year in replace of Esteban Ocon. The rumours are it's between him, the rumours were, sorry, that it was between him and Mick Schumacher, but now there's rumours that Carlos Sainz is seriously considering Briatore's offer to go and join the team next year. So we'll wait and see what happens there. I feel quite bad for Doohan because his 2 sessions now have been cut short for some reason. So in Canada it was cut short because of the weather, and at Silverstone this week it's been cut short because there was issues with the Alpine. So I think if Doohan had been able to do the full session, we might have seen something maybe a bit better from him. Franco Colapinto finished FP1 P18, and now I'm going to have to look at what Logan Sargent does the rest of the weekend to see if my prediction will come in, that his P18 will be better than what Logan Sargent can do the rest of the weekend. We will wait and see. And then Isaac Hadjar came in P19, who had a very close call coming out of turn 2 with Lando Norris. And it's just a shame that his session ended that way because it was referred to the stewards and Hadjar got a formal warning and Red Bull was fined €20,000 for Hadjar impeding Norris. So it's a shame. I feel quite bad for him actually. You could tell I think he was a little bit upset by the whole thing. However, Red Bull was not the only team that was fined for one of their drivers impeding another. Lance Stroll was given a formal warning and Aston Martin was handed a £15,000 fine for him impeding Charles Leclerc. And that is everything from practice just now. We will be back after the quali session later on today, but I think things might be a little bit postponed because of the weather. I've just seen that the F3 sprint race has been postponed. Are we going to have a little bit of a weather affected race? Feels like it wouldn't be the British Grand Prix without it, but we will just have to wait and find out. As I said, that is us. I will be back after quali. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love you. Bye.